this is Michael from Chess Lifestyle, and today is going to be quite a sad video to discuss the passing of Daniel Naroditsky. And if you have been living under a rock for the past year, Daniel Naroditsky is a grandmaster who was a great influence to the chess community. He was a commentator, a streamer, and his influence from an educational perspective was just incredible. I remember watching him when I was growing up, trying to improve at the game, and I would always choose the Naroditsky and Hess commentary team videos for whatever tournaments they were broadcasting, because it was just brilliant, like what they were doing. But in more recent years, basically the chess world has taken a turn for the worse for Naroditsky because of a man called Vladimir Kramnik, former world champion, who has been on a crusade to just point fingers at everyone under the sun and claim that they're cheating. And people are able to respond in different ways. But for some people who try and actively engage with Kramnik, it just got way too much. And unfortunately, Danya was one of these people. And Kramnik's accusations really, really got to him. I mean, I can even quickly show a difference. Like I will share this tweet in the description below so you can watch this more properly. But basically, there is a video on YouTube of a stream where Danya, these fucking adverts, where Danya was basically addressing. You can see here, Danya was addressing what Kramnik was accusing him of, and addressing these points in a very, very reasonable manner and explaining how difficult it has been for him. And 11 months later, we see Danya's final stream, and basically, again, I will link this in the description, you'll see. But yeah, basically, Danya is completely defeated and doesn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. Now, given all of this, you would hope that someone would be able to step in and try and help. And I understand that there was, of course, a lot of people, on Danya's side, providing support as much as possible. And I realize that, there's only so much people can do as well. But having said that, when it comes to chess.com, for context, Daniel was a commentator for chess.com. He worked, as I mentioned, with Robert Hess to commentate various tournaments. Now, I won't comment too much on why Danya and Hess don't work with chess.com anymore or do these commentaries, because I don't have 100% certainty with the evidence provided that basically when chess.com incorporated chess24 into their monopoly, basically they had an excess of talented commentators, and Naroditsky and Hess weren't essential for these big tournaments anymore. But I do not know this as fact. This is just what I have read about the situation online. So I won't comment anything further on that. But what I can comment on with absolute certainty is the use of chess.com's proctor system in order to try and implement fair play to the Title Tuesday tournament. And basically, I wrote this tweet that chess.com messed up Why on earth was Danya a recurring target for proctor use given that Kramnik's accusations were baseless? And for context of this, we're going to need to deep dive into a Reddit post where Danya himself replied with all the details. So that's why I know I can comment on this with absolute certainty, because it's Danya himself replying. So for context, basically, a few months ago, Danya was kicked out of Title Tuesday because he was streaming the tournament, and he had chat open and had the emoji only chat. Because the idea of this is to reduce the amount of possibility of cheating, right? Because if a chat is open, then there is a possibility of someone feeding you the moves on the chat and you using that to play Stockfish's moves, right? And get a big advantage. But what ended up happening, as Daniel will explain, is basically he was 8 rounds into the tournament and decided that he would turn off the emote only chat because he was playing other players who were streaming who didn't have the emote only chat, so he assumed it would be fine. But as you'll see, chess.com had targeted Danya as a potential cheater, and therefore I guess the rules were enforced more heavily on him, which is not fair, right? So let's read out this post together, like, slowly, because to be honest, I have no idea how long this Reddit post will even remain. So I feel like it's the least I can really do to share something on the situation that people need to be aware of. So let me just very quickly check that my camera is not covering. Right. So let's go paragraph by paragraph. From Naroditsky. Not going to actively involve myself in the discussion, but wanted to add a few important clarifications. First, the draconian rules are only in place for streamers. If you choose not to stream and are not one of the lucky chosen ones who have to use proctor, there are absolutely no rules of any kind. If you so desire, you can literally ask your friends Bob and Schmob to continue chatting on your inactive Twitch channel or anywhere else. While I agree that in general the rules are the rules, etc., I'd argue that the red light speeding analogy that some of you are referencing is invalid. So yeah, he talks about this analogy. To be honest, I don't know the context of this analogy, and it wasn't too clear to me. But what he says at the end, I mean, basically, like, Danya acknowledges that he broke the rules, but it's like kind of like driving on a motorway that's a 60 zone at 70, which is against the law, but everyone else is driving at 70, and then you being the one who gets the speeding ticket. It's that kind of feeling of unfairness, right? So, okay, the next paragraph is, in the name of transparency, I was asked before the event to be more meticulous about emote only and acknowledge this request, which I was following until round 8 when I saw that none of the YouTube streams and the Kick streams, I think, had emote only during games. Whether or not this is a possibility on YouTube is totally irrelevant. If it isn't, then the rule has to be changed in some way to apply the same way to the people streaming on any platform, right? This makes perfect sense, right? You can't have a rule where if it's such a big deal to crack down on this potential cheating, if people can just stream on YouTube or Kick to avoid this rule, I mean, that just defeats the whole purpose of the rule, right? It's completely flawed, right? So I was enabling emote only while in contention for a prize, even though I have made my stance on the efficacy of this rule plenty clear in past streams. While this isn't any sort of rigorous argument, I challenge anyone to furnish a single example of a streamer making a move after looking at a chat recommendation during a prize tournament in the history of streaming. So yeah, Danya's stance is pretty clear. Finally, The fact that Proctor still hasn't been enforced for everyone, I was required to use it from early February onwards, is in my understanding an appalling double standard, a view that I know for a fact is shared by virtually every regular TT participant I've spoken to. And yes, there is an actual human monitoring you, a human who will not be afraid to message within the Proctor browser. It's a separate program you install, which does not allow you to join TT or FF, which is Freestyle Friday, Title Tuesday, until two devices have been connected. If something needs adjustment, even during the game, playing in front of two cameras under constant video and audio observation, I've had my proctor compliment me on my swearing in Russian after I lost the game, which feels like a complete violation, and with a very small amount, but definitely noticeable lag, creates an inherent disadvantage. Furthermore, if your second device, example phone, dies, Proctor will start flashing a massive red text box that makes it almost impossible to play until it has been reconnected. Finally, it has cost me several games due to various random bugs, such as programs saying mic not detected and closing me out automatically, to the fact that I now have to initiate the joining process at least 5 minutes before the start of the tournament. While the extent to which these things create a disadvantage can be debated, I do not see any kind of weight to an argument that they do not pose a disadvantage at all. Now, to elaborate on this, there was a reply to one of the comments down below in the thread. We can see Polar Power writing here, I thought everyone uses Proctor now, so people who don't stream can't easily use a chat to cheat. And then Danya's reply said, it is not required for all, or as of yet, even 50% of players, including, to my knowledge, few in the top 25 FIDE Blitz players, Hans, me, and maybe one other player, so Hans is Hans Niemann, definitely not Magnus or Hikaru, right? So there's some favoritism with this usage of Proctor. I do not know the exact percentage, but I have been required to use it for 6+ months now with no explanation, a flagrant disadvantage to begin with, but to be clear, I am certain that the number who have to use Proctor is still no more than half. Now this is absolutely appalling. Like, Daniel Naroditsky has worked for chess.com as a commentator, as one of the best commentators on the platform, tirelessly, for this company. And upon some baseless accusations from Vladimir Kramnik, this is what Naroditsky has to be put up with. And you can see that it's definitely in line with accusations and allegations, because Hans Niemann is the other guy in the top 25 Blitz players who also has to use Proctor all the time. Why is this? Because Magnus accused Hans. And why is this for Naroditsky? Kramnik accused Naroditsky. So suddenly they're on a watch list and need to be supervised more. But this is completely baseless claims. And where is the support for Naroditsky? He was literally an incredible employee for several years. And this is how he's treated. And it's like, really, chess.com, I really feel like, I mean, okay, I'll get back to this text, but I really feel chess.com have their priorities completely insane. They care about growth, they care about money, and they do not give a shit about the well-being of, well, maybe their employees, but not past employees. Like, okay, you know, you can move out. We've got these new Chess24 people coming in. Like, what the hell is this? So, okay, Danya, the absolute blessing of a character he is, says, I have been a staunch defender of chess fair play for years and will continue to set the record straight when it comes to the fact that they have pushed anti-cheating technology forward and worked tirelessly to refine their methods. They aren't above reproach, but I have made it very clear that I trust chess.com's algorithms and emphasize with the difficulty of appeasing the screaming hordes who simultaneously demand flawless anti-cheating software, but then cry about Proctor being too intrusive. To be clear, were everyone required to use it, or was there at least some sort of rotation, or was there any sort of transparency about when everyone would have to use it? There wouldn't be a single peep from me, right? This is the point. Daniel's been completely reasonable with bringing this up, right? As for emote only, I just cannot understand why it is that by far the most restrictive rules are in place for those who already make it harder for themselves to cheat by choosing to stream. This makes perfect sense, right? If you're streaming, obviously it's going to be harder to cheat. So why do you then have these restrictive rules that aren't even applied across the board? Because on YouTube or Kick, you can't even do emote only streams. I absolutely never mean to disrespect the rules and usually follow them, even if I personally may disagree with their efficacy. But I ask people to consider the sum total of these factors before rendering a decision. I will speak to the Fair Play team in the coming days, and I'm hopeful that we will hear my concerns. Now, I don't know the follow up on this, but yeah, I have no idea. While I'm obviously really upset, it isn't fun to get kicked out of an event live on stream. I absolutely do not intend to escalate the situation and only hope that my participation and feedback can strengthen their fair play algorithm. I get that this isn't a clear cut issue, and my intention in not enabling a moat only was not to cause stir or assert my power. I genuinely thought this was a valid thing to do, and obviously the goal here was to make my stream experience more fun for the viewers. While I will hold very firm on my position, I hope that we can have a productive conversation, and I will make every effort to work with the Fair Play team to explain my perspective in the hopes that this will have a positive conclusion for everyone. Provided that there is more concerted effort to make the rules fair and applicable for everyone, I hope to continue participating in Title Tuesday for years to come. And this final sentence is haunting, because as we know, Daniel Naroditsky is not here with us anymore. So all I can think of is, I don't know what happened with this Fair Play team. I will have to investigate further to find out, did Danya have to keep using Proctor? Was Proctor now made for everyone, or did they not even follow up on this? I mean, if any of you know who are watching this video, please let me know and provide references, provide sources for your information as well, because this is what I'm saying. I can trust all this because it's coming from Danya's mouth himself. But for other stuff, I mean, it's all speculation. I mean, even with Danya's death, the only reason why I can speculate as I have is because Botnik was making a very emotional stream where clearly he was still in shock and explaining how he discovered Danya's body in his house. Right? So I'm only talking about things that I know I can talk about with absolute certainty. As I said, the whole Naroditsky and Hess being dropped from chess.com, I am not saying that is like something that I understand completely about. I don't have any clear facts on that matter. But as a result of all of this, the fact that Proctor wasn't used in rotation, the fact that Daniel was targeted this whole entire time based on some absolutely baseless allegations by Kramnik, it is only reasonable for me to at least boycott the company. And it's a real shame because, I mean, I was starting this, speedrun series of my Gergenitzer course, which is coming out in a few days. And it really does put me in an awkward situation as well, because at the end of the day, Chessable is now owned by chess.com. And as an author on Chessable, I am essentially contributing to the benefit of chess.com by publishing my material there. And unfortunately, Chessable is still the biggest educational platform there is for people to learn from. And I already have a hard enough time trying to market my material when compared to all these titled players or absolute humongous streamers who, get the marketing way more readily. So as someone who makes a living through chess, I mean, this puts me in a really tough spot as well. But I mean, Chessable, was a website around way before chess.com acquired it, and I was actually one of the beta testers for Chessable when it first started as like a 12-year-old, right? I watched John Bartholomew, I watched Naroditsky, I watched all of these guys, and I saw that John Bartholomew was co-founding this website called Chessable, and I was a beta tester for that website. So I have a lot of, appreciation for this website too. And to have to boycott Chessable because chess.com has acquired it also doesn't sit right with me. So I need to, get my thoughts clear on where I'm at with this. But at the very least, I can make this video and at least share with you my reasons for why I'm boycotting this website. And I think it's just completely awful that Naroditsky was treated this way, and I feel like he deserves so much better. So yeah, really, really sad that we've lost Danya. At the end of the day, this world was a far too toxic place for a pure soul like Danya to be. So I really hope that he is in a better place. And yeah, today in today's Chess Mood Grand Prix, like I had to stream it because I have a commitment, and there are people who are depending on me. I talk a lot more about my raw emotions and reaction to this news. But I also share this interview that Danya had, which is a really fantastic interview where Danya is just sharing his love about bullet chess, which is also one of my unfortunate passions as well. And it's so great to hear Danya talk. So I'll link that in the description as well, because that will also, for anyone who's kind of more new to the situation, you can get an idea of who Danya is as a person before all of this drama kicked off, because it's really so sad that like this is how Danya had to exit this world in this state of mind. And that is really unforgivable. And that is why, no matter how small or large chess.com's influence was, by forcing Danya to be under this supervision, which, to be honest, I mean, I think it is a big deal, because at the end of the day, if Kramnik's allegations are completely baseless, then they should be rejected by all forms of significant institution. And since chess.com has played such a big role in Danya's life, the fact that chess.com are then putting Proctor on Danya exclusively, it almost kind of acknowledges Kramnik's accusations, does it not? So for chess.com to immediately announce, oh, we're so sorry, we're so saddened, why the fuck did you do this? Who was in charge of this? Whoever it was needs to get fired, because clearly they have their head in the wrong place. And this is what I don't appreciate about the company, which is just they are so focused on growth and so focused on making money that they lose touch with the simple respect and well-being for a human being. So that is what I wanted to share with you guys before this Reddit post gets taken down, because I have the feeling that it won't stay up forever. And yeah, it's a really, really, really sad day for the chess community, and probably the biggest tragedy that the chess world has ever seen, which really is testament to how amazing of an individual Danya Narodetsky was. So thank you for watching. I will post in future if there are any kind of fundraisers for Danya, or if there are any kind of commemoration events, which I'm sure there will be. Like, I would love to try and use this platform to help support whatever initiatives arise from this. Thank you for watching.